Today, we're diving into a question that costs companies thousands, sometimes millions of dollars. A question most of them just can't answer. Why are so many of our new hires leaving? We're going to explore how onboarding analytics can finally give you the answer and totally transform how you welcome new people to your team. So, let me start by asking you a pretty blunt question. Is your new hire process a gamble? I mean, are you just crossing your fingers and hoping for the best? Hoping that new person actually sticks around and, gets up to speed eventually? If you're like a lot of companies, the honest answer is probably a nervous, yeah, kind of.
And that's a seriously risky bet to be making. A huge number of new employees are out the door within their first year. But the worst part? Most companies have absolutely no clue why it's happening. It's just this expensive, mysterious black box.
So let's talk a little more about this black box. It's that critical period where you've already invested a ton of time and money into finding and hiring someone, but now you're just operating on gut feelings and assumptions about how they're doing, if they're engaged, and whether they're actually making progress. This really lays out the two paths you can take, doesn't it? On one side, you have the old way, guesswork, and that leads right to high turnover, people feeling disengaged, and all these hidden costs you can't even begin to track. But when you flip the switch to analytics, the whole story changes. Suddenly you're looking at higher retention, people getting productive way faster, and a return on investment you can actually prove. Okay, so how do we make that leap from just guessing to having real insight? Well, it all starts with measuring the right things. You can't fix what you don't track. So let's look at the key metrics that are going to unlock this black box for you. First up is a big one, time to productivity. Now, this isn't just about when they finish their training modules. This is about the moment a new hire really starts adding value to the team. A shorter time to productivity means your onboarding is working, your training is on point, and you're getting a return on that hiring investment way sooner.
And then there's this one, early attrition. This is your primary red flag, your canary in the coal mine. If people are bailing within that first year, it's screaming at you that something is fundamentally broken, either in your onboarding, your company culture, or maybe even in the expectations you set during the hiring process itself.
And the impact of tracking this is just staggering. I mean, look at this. Take a company with a 25% attrition rate. That's 1 in every 4 new people they hire walking right back out the door. But by putting some simple analytics in place, they slash that number all the way down to 10%. That is a massive, massive saving in money, time, and team morale. Okay, so now we know what we should be measuring, but how do we actually, get the data? Well, that's where your analytics toolkit comes in. And honestly, it's probably simpler than you think. These are basically your go-to instruments. You've got your broader engagement surveys to get the overall vibe, but then you layer in these really quick pulse checks, like a simple one-question check-in, to catch problems in real time. And the structured 30, 60, 90-day feedback sessions, that's where you get the deep dive, the why. And it's all managed through digital platforms that pull all this data together in one place.
But here's the really crucial part. This isn't a one-and-done thing. These tools create a continuous feedback loop. You gather the data from your new hires, you analyze it to spot trends and friction points, like maybe everyone's confused during their first week or managers aren't checking in enough. Then you use those insights to fix the process for the next group of new hires. It's a cycle of constant improvement.
And now, for the part that gets everybody's attention, the money. How do you actually prove that investing in all this stuff pays off? This is how you build a business case that no one can ignore.
Let's just start with a single number, $15,000. That's the average cost to replace just one employee when you factor in all the recruiting, training, and lost productivity. Think about that. Every new person who walks out the door is a major financial hit.
And here's where you can see how those savings just multiply. So by reducing the number of people who left, this company saved $150,000. By getting people productive faster, they added another $75,000 in value. That's a total gain of over $200,000, which works out to a mind-blowing 350% return on their investment. See? This isn't about fuzzy feelings. This is about the bottom line.
All right, theory's great, but let's see how this actually works in the real world. We're going to take a look at a manufacturing firm that put all these principles into action and saw some absolutely incredible results.
So here's the situation. It was pretty dire. This company was just bleeding new talent from the factory floor. They were caught in this endless cycle of hiring and retraining, and it was directly hurting their ability to hit their production goals. They knew they had a problem, but they had no idea what the problem was.
So here's their game plan, quarter by quarter.
In Q1, they simply named the beast, high attrition. Then, in Q2, they started listening with those tools we talked about, and the data told a crystal clear story. New hires felt totally lost and unsupported by their managers. That was it. That was the key. So in Q3, they acted on it. They completely revamped their manager training and added a peer mentor program. By Q4, the results were in. Attrition plummeted by 40%, and new hires were getting up to speed 25% faster. Just incredible.
And this quote from one of the company's leaders just says it all, right? The analytics weren't just a report card telling them they failed. It was a roadmap. It pointed them to the exact spot they needed to fix, and it completely transformed their entire approach to bringing people on board.
So at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. Onboarding analytics turns that expensive, frustrating black box into a clear story. A story of engagement, progress, and ultimately success. So the final question I want to leave you with is this. If data can tell the story of your new hire's first 90 days, what story is your company telling?